Hey guys, coming back for the next kind of installment of what I'm doing on the bike. You can see I kind of started to roughly with cardboard lay out the battery box, but before I kind of want to really dig into that and actually start cutting some metal and get some stuff done with that, my frame hoop came in. This is it right here. Ordered it on eBay just because I don't have a tube bender. But it was like $35 free shipping, and it came in like 3 days. So I mean, that's worth it than buying a couple $100 bender and stuff for how often I actually need to do it. But you can see it's the exact width and everything of the frame currently. So what I'm going to do is put the seat on there and kind of see whereabouts this is going to need to go, and then I'm going to cut off the ends here. Probably right about there, and then probably even end up trimming back the top so I can see that bar, so I can kind of have it just be a nice smooth bar all the way across instead of stepping up onto this and then stepping back down again onto this new bar. So I'm going to put the seat on there, kind of measure it and make sure I'm going to have enough length to get it exactly where I want. Then I'm going to chop this off, and I'll bring you guys back when I do that. Alright, here's a little update after I cut some off, so you can kind of see what I was talking about, that this bar right here kind of goes all the way through into this section a little bit. So this is actually part of that bar, and there is like a little bit of a weld connection, so when you kind of take it off it does break a little bit, but we can weld that back up. So what I'm trying to do here is just kind of get all the way down to this bar so I can make this frame hoop kind of match up with it perfectly. So I'm gonna have to trim a little bit more off of this side to make it kind of sit down in there, and then I can weld it up and make a little plate for the bottom to kind of so there's not an exposed hole in the back, and make it look pretty factory. But I wanted to kind of do one side at a time so I can see exactly how far in this pipe goes, so I can just cut it off at that same point on the opposite side. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. Is I'm going to cut a little bit more off of this, probably cut it right up to that inner bar there, and then we can match the other side, and then we'll get our exact length, cut this, and start to weld it in. Alright, I got it trimmed up, and you can kind of see where that bar is now. So what I'm going to do is kind of see where that exact measurement is, and then just duplicate it exactly on this side so they match. And then we will cut the bar down and get it welded in. Alright, this is kind of the point where I'm at now. So I got them both cut off. I got the hoop up there. What I did is I threw the seat on without the hoop and measured from kind of a standard point, just right here in the center of this bracket, back to where I wanted the end of the bar to be, kind of to fit flush with the back of the seat. And I measured that, and it's like, on this particular project, 13.5 inches. So then I put the bar up there, kind of got it about 13.5 inches, and then made sure that it's perfectly square with the rest of the bike. And it's kind of hard to see, but I measured off of kind of common points of the tank mount and stuff to make sure that it is in fact square, even though the bike's kind of crooked and thrown off a little bit. But make sure it's totally square on there. Then I marked exactly where I want to cut the tube or the hoop with a Sharpie. to match up to kind of where I cut off already. So I'm going to go ahead and chop that off and put it up there, and maybe do another kind of tape up and everything and make sure everything looks good before I start to tack weld and kind of move on to the next steps. Well, here we go. This kind of gives you a first look of kind of where I'm going. This is obviously sloping down a lot more than I want it to, but you know, I haven't actually welded anything, so that's kind of why I'm doing this, so I can figure out exactly. Like I said in one of my previous videos, this in a 550, this does have kind of a natural little curve up to it. So I'm going to try to match that with this back curve. So it'll probably end up being something about like, maybe about like that. And this seat is actually designed to flex and has mount right there in the middle. So I'll just, you know, when I weld my mount to it and you actually draw it down with some bolts, it'll naturally bend this seat a little bit to match that curve. So really the important part here is that this back kind of fits as flush as possible. As you can see, it sits right up in that seat. It'll be, you know, something just like that when it's kind of all said and done. So it fits real nicely around there, and I do actually have an LED taillight I'm going to try to incorporate too right in the back of that to be really nice and clean. But you can kind of see what it looks like so far, and it's coming along pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the results. So I think the next step is to fire up the welder and kind of get some tacks in there, and we'll get it kind of permanently welded in, and then we'll go and kind of box these holes back in, and then we'll start on the seat mounts, and then of course get to work on the battery box. So far so good. Alright guys, next update here. I got the hoop tacked in, so you can kind of see I just threw a tack on each side on the top, just to make sure I got the angle right. I think it looks pretty darn good. I had to do a little bit of trimming and stuff to make sure it fits, but it looks really uniform and even to me and level. So I think we're going to be good here. I'll kind of throw the seat on, let you see kind of the look I'm going for here. So the seat will sit right about there. So you can see once this is drawn down, the seat will actually sit more flush like that when I have those mounts right there. But you can see the hoop goes nicely right around the back side there. So it's gonna look really good when I get that bar kind of finished welded in and painted and everything, and we're gonna, of course, like I said, cap those off. But yeah, it looks pretty good. So I think I'm going to go ahead and finish weld it and then dress the welds, and we'll go from there. Alright, I think this is going to be the final update for this video, but I got the hoop finished welded in and kind of the welds dressed down on there, so it looks really good. I'll probably do some final grinding and stuff, but I still have a good amount of metal work to do back here before I worry about all of that. So I did go ahead and put in little pieces of metal and weld them into the end there just to kind of cap off the edge, just to make it a little bit cleaner and make sure no water or dirt or anything can get in there. I think it looks pretty good. When it's all black and the seat's on and stuff, it's not going to stick out, you know, near as much as it does now. I wouldn't have minded maybe having a, you know, kind of continuing this up straight up to here, but the way the stock kind of horn was, it wouldn't have matched up. It would have been possible, but it's not worth kind of doing the effort now to make it look. I think it'll look just fine when it's painted. So yeah, so that's going to be kind of the last update of this video. Next steps are going to be, I'm going to cut out this brace because it's going to be in the way for my seat mounts anyway. And there's going to be 3 bars going across here to match up with the 3 mounting locations on the seat, so there's going to be plenty of rigidity in there. Then I'm going to throw the rear wheel back on and make sure that this design is going to work fine for the electronics tray. I may come out a little bit farther or taper it up inside. I'll kind of have to mess around with the design a little bit once I get the rear wheel and see how much clearance and stuff I have. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So if you like, throw a like on the video, subscribe if you're interested in keeping up with the project. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.